Did I just find the perfect backpacking backpack? It all started with late nights planning my 2025 travels, hunting for the right pack for hiking season. And there I was, scrolling through Adam Pack's customizer, swapping colors, obsessing over every tiny detail, until I finally hit order, the notch. Then came a week of on-calls, referrals, patience, theatre, repeat. Somewhere between scrubbing in and scrubbing out, I checked my phone. An email from Adam Pack's. They wanted me as an ambassador, and just like that. Okay, but why Adam Pack's though? Lately, I've been making an effort to support local brands and small businesses. I wanted a pack that was simple but thoughtfully designed, something I could grab gear from without taking it off every time. Since I shoot videos, I also wanted something that performs well and looks good on camera. The Notch is an ultralight, robust and durable backpack built for fast and light adventures. Weighing as little as 840 grams, it comes in 40 liters or 50 liters capacities and is fully customizable with different pocket configurations and colors. While procrastinating during exam season, I spent way too much time playing with the customizer, tweaking the perfect colorway. In the end, I went for something earth-toned and understated. But the beauty of Adam Packs is that you can make it entirely your own. Now, instead of just talking about this feature, let me show you exactly how I packed it for my trails. Let's start at the main pack body. What I love about the Notch is how simple it is. Just one big compartment, nothing fussy. It means I can organize things how I like, instead of being told how to pack. I always line it with a waterproof liner for extra security against rain. The first thing that goes in is my sleeping bag, the Sea to Summit Spark -1 degree Celsius. I sleep pretty hot, my legs are basically little radiators, so this bag has been perfect for Scotland in spring. It's snug, cozy and somewhat even lighter than my so-called summer bag. Honestly, it's been one of my best upgrades this season. Small in pack size, warm and a proper win-win. Inside the liner, I also put everything that absolutely has to stay dry. That includes my sleeping clothes, a Montbell merino wool base layer, a spare pair of socks, and my tiny Sea to Summit microfiber towel. Nothing fancy, just the essentials for keeping warm and comfortable at night. Next up is my sleeping pad. I upgraded to the Thermarest Neo Air X Lite. It's been a game changer. After hours of research, it just made the most sense. Best hour value to weight to price ratio I could find. I still remember freezing on the West Highland Way. This pad boosted my insulation from 2 point something to 4.5, and it's seriously comfy. I usually ditch off the stuff sacks to save a few grams, so it just goes in with the pump sack with my pillow. On top of that goes my tent, the same Alpkit Soloist I've been using. It's not the lightest, but it's bomb-proof and simple to set up, which is exactly what I want at the end of a long day. When you're tired, reliability counts more than shaving a few hundred grams. This would probably be the next thing I upgrade though. On the West Highland Way, I could just stop at pubs, so I never bothered with cooking. But I realized that if I want to push for longer, wilder trips, I need to make eating outside more enjoyable. I went with the MSR Pocket Rocket 2 mini set. It's light, no fuss, and does exactly what it should. For cutlery, just a Sea to Summit titanium spork. Simple and indestructible. Food, on the other hand, is still a work in progress. I'm not a good cook at all, and all those fancy dehydrated meals are way too expensive. On the Sky Trail, I started with 2 packs of instant noodles a day, something I know I would love. But bulky and not quite enough calories. Later, I found some instant pasta at the co-op, which packed down smaller. I'm still experimenting on this part, but that's part of the fun. Then come the luxury items, my electronics. I'm still flying the DJI Air 2S. I thought about switching to a mini, but image quality still matters more to me than weight. For my camera, I use a Night dual charger for batteries. Power-wise, I had to upgrade after accidentally leaving my old power bank in my brother's pack during a trip to Italy. So now I've got this Anker power cord. It's a bit lighter and keeps everything topped up. I keep all these in my Sea to Summit dry bag. That's pretty much everything that lives in the main compartment. And the best part, I still have space left to stuff my jackets or layers as I peel them off on the trail. On top of the roll top closure, the pack also comes with a wire strap. I think it's designed to hold a bear can. I haven't hiked in bear country yet, but it's been really handy for strapping down bulky layers when I peel them off on hot days. Another feature I love is the Dyneema stretch pocket. My old pack didn't have one, and now I can't imagine going without. It's where I stash everything that can get wet or dirty. First in are my camp shoes. I used to have the Montbell sock-on sandals, but they broke on my Jordan trip. I upgraded to the Montbell lock-on, and honestly, if it ain't broke, don't change it. I've always loved their design, so I stuck with them. I also keep my Montbell rain pants in here. They picked up a few cactus tees in Nepal, but they still keep me dry, so I've never felt the need to replace them. My toiletries and bug net live here too, easy to grab when needed. This trip I only brought one hiking pole, since I usually have my tripod in the other hand anyway. But even one pole makes a big difference over long distances. Something new in my kit is the cooler cloth. If you haven't heard of it, it's basically a reusable antimicrobial pee cloth for women. Practical, hygienic, and it actually looks pretty cute clipped to the pack. Lastly, there are stretch cords across the outside of the pocket, which are perfect for hanging up wet clothes or strapping down extra gear when space gets tight. The side pockets on the notch are surprisingly spacious. For this trip, I used an old squash bottle from home, 1.5 liters, exactly the capacity I needed, and lighter than most standard bottles, and I can easily reach them while wearing the pack. On the other side, I keep my water filter, just a simple one from Salomon. I actually needed to use it a bit more on this trip, and so far no stomach issues, so it does the job. My tent poles and stakes also slide neatly into this pocket, along with my tripod when I'm not holding it. I'm still carrying the Peak Design travel tripod, and I don't see myself switching anytime soon. It's lightweight, packs down small, but more importantly, it extends to a full height. I get really frustrated with tripods that limit my shot angles, so this one's a keeper. The hip belt is really the key to comfort on long days, and I opted for just one hip belt pocket. On the other side, I sometimes hang my tripod, so keeping it asymmetrical works better for me. The single pocket actually holds a lot. My tiny first aid kit, complete with a tech card, a stash of snacks, and my headlamp all fit in there without an issue. I also opted for a shoulder strap pocket, but again only on one side. It's perfect for extra camera batteries, my power bank or my phone. I love this design because it keeps essentials close at hand without cluttering the pack. Last year I upgraded to the iPhone 16 Pro, and I've been using the Blackmagic camera app on it to capture supplemental footage instead of bringing a GoPro. Honestly, it's been a brilliant solution. One of the things I enjoy most about this pack is just how customizable it is. You can really tailor it to your own style of adventuring. On the opposite shoulder strap, I've mounted my trusty Peak Design capture clip, which I've used for years. It carries my Nikon Z6 III with the 24-120 f4 lens, a setup I've come to trust completely. It's reliable, versatile, and something I don't see myself changing for a long time. The notch also has a really unique feature I've never had on a bag before: a Dyneema stretch bottom pocket. It has a large opening on the right plus a trash pot on the left. I usually just use it as my trash pocket. It keeps everything out of the way, but it's still easy to grab. So that's everything I carry inside the pack, and here's what I wear. For this trip, I hiked in my Montbell long-sleeve Rickton t-shirt. Light, breathable, cute design, and the most asked about piece of gear I own. Paired with Montbell hiking trousers that zip off into shorts, it gave me flexibility as the weather changed. On my feet, I went back to the Hoka Speedgoat 6 with smart wool socks. I keep it simple with accessories, a lightweight cap for sun protection and a Sunto 9 Peak Pro on my wrist for offline maps and tracking. For outer layers, I still rely on my Mehmet Rimin Flex hooded jacket for insulation and a Columbia rain jacket I picked up on sale. It does the job. This season, I decided to ditch my fleece altogether. If I get cold at camp, I can always crawl straight into my sleeping bag. And that's my full setup with the Atom Pack's notch. What I love most is how adaptable it is. Every pocket, every strap feels like it's designed with real hikers in mind, yet it never feels overcomplicated. This isn't about having the lightest pack or the fanciest. For me, it's about having something I can trust on long days, something I don't have to think about, so I can focus on the trail, the views, and the journey itself. So far, the notch has ticked all the boxes, and honestly, I think it might just be the backpack I'll be using for many seasons to come. You can check it out in the link below.